Hey everyone, it's Casquillo, and there's a lot to talk about tonight because Rafael Caro Quintero is on the move again, and he's in Sonora right now. And so right now he's in Sonora, and he's allied with Mayo Zambada, and both of them. That's why the crime is going up right now because at some point they decided that the old arrangement was not worth it, and so they're trying to take back what they think is rightfully theirs. But yeah, is anyone from Sonora? If you are, then please feel free to chime in, and because there's a lot of things going on, and it could be it's also a situation where Caro Quintero and his people are putting out propaganda on those banners, and what they say may not be entirely what's going on. So, but yeah, it's and apparently for the most part, the state police are kind of staying back in certain areas. Just like how in this past week in where was it in Michoacan, I think, where CJNG was going at it with Viagra's, and because they were in the mountainous side, and apparently according to the military there were no civilians around. The military and the federal police units right outside the firefight, you could on video you could clearly hear the gunfire going off. They decided that they were actually gonna stay. They were gonna stand down, and they were going to let the two groups duke it out. So say what you will about that. I don't know. Maybe it's the right thing to do. Maybe it's the wrong thing to do. But that's what the military decided to do. At least one of the units involved. Uh, it's a crazy time where things like that happen, and it's not the first time because if you're from Michoacan, you already know that the military, certain military units there, they allied themselves with los Viagras and the Carteles Unidos. Not all of them, but some of them, and that's what that's pretty much what's going on. Yeah, Caborca was Caro Quintero's back in the day. That was his stomping ground. Do I know who killed Toker from Brownside? No, I do not. I heard he was killed, but I haven't looked too deeply into it. Um, but yeah, R.I.P. to him. He made some classics back in the day. Do I think CJNG will end up like the Zetas? Um, you mean like fragmented? Yeah, I'm assuming you mean fragmented, so I'm gonna go with that. It could be. It could be that they end up like that because they're moving extremely aggressive, and they're using force, a lot of force, to just get their way with other groups. And not all the time. A lot of times the local groups, they gladly align themselves. Um, So yeah, I mean, but I feel like at at some point, Mencho is just gonna be too much for the other people in that group, and he's not a. No one's above the machine, and no one's above this industry. So I wouldn't put it past people giving him up, or some of his own people killing him, or I don't know. And the CJNG, I feel like it won't disintegrate as easily, or not as easily, but in the same manner that Zetas did. Um, at least not in Jalisco. At least not in Jalisco, maybe. Other parts, I mean, they could. If you look. Does Rafael Caro Quintero like Mencho? Um, from what I hear, he doesn't. Uh, that's what I heard. They're not exactly on best terms exactly, but you know, at the end of the day, you never know. Um, Another thing that's going on that recently happened was more Mexican officials or former Mexican officials are being arrested. They're going down, and it's the U.S. authorities that are the ones pulling the trigger on that, which is not the common thing because a lot of times they know what these Mexican politicians are up to, and it's the norm for them after their term is up to kind of find refuge in the U.S. because then a lot of the corruption charges come down. So that's something that happens, but the U.S. doesn't necessarily go after them, and recently they have. Do I think a union will happen again like the 1980s? No, I don't think so. Well, you know what? I'm going to say in certain areas yes, and in certain areas no. I think Guerrero is a place, and Michoacan is two places that are just gonna keep fighting for a while, and but I think other places, I guess the more cosmopolitan places, the more urban places will probably find some kind of truce or agreement between the different groups. But I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think the all the fragmentation in places like Guerrero and Michoacan will it's already getting to such a point where people will gladly probably follow one entity if they can guarantee security. And for right now, it probably is CJNG. But I mean, it's gotten out of hand. People want security at the end of the day. They want to be able to go out on the street and or go out with their family to the restaurant or just hang out and not be afraid that they're going to be kidnapped or they're going to be in the middle of some kind of shootout. So, a realignment of all these little cartels and trafficking groups will most likely happen in some areas, and other areas it will just keep descending into chaos. how is the war going between El Ruso and the Ninis? Yeah, it's going bad for El Ruso. Uh, Los Chapitos and Ninis are have taken more territory from him and apparently have kicked out most of his people from Culiacan. And Russo is on the run. Either that or he's doing some kind of tactical retreat, but I mean, it's not looking good for him. Yeah, thank you for the support, MS M Sotelo 503. Thank you. Yeah, Cartel de Carteles. I mean, I've heard something about it, but I don't know. I don't really know if that's propaganda or it's some kind of real thing. But I mean, I've heard about them, so who knows? Also, the amount of weaponry that CJNG is um, has access to is insane. It's not the run of the mill, AK-47 and AR-15. It's like they have access to a ready supply of RPGs, law rockets. Um, I mean, they have the ability to actually manufacture their own rifles and grenade launchers, apparently, or at least the ability to attach the aftermarket grenade launcher to a rifle. And they also have access to the special 5.7 millimeter ammo that can penetrate body armor more easily. The blue tipped ammo, which is, I mean, it's kind of hard to come by, but it's, they have a bunch of that. And not to mention all the armored cars. The armored cars are not cheap. You gotta have some money to construct all these monsters, what they call them, and armored SUVs and trucks, and you gotta have the money to actually gas them up. You have to have the money to warehouse them when they're not being used. All that stuff, the logistics. I mean, you gotta have a little bit of financial backing for that. And so, are Los Chapitos good? Yeah, they're good. I mean, for now, they're good. They're definitely good. From what I know, they are running El Russo and his people out. Is Caro Quintero a narco? Hell yeah, he is. He's still involved. And, I mean, it's crazy because he is 70 plus something years old, I think, at the time. And, he's still trying to get what he once had in the 80s. I mean, he never really. Financially, he was okay, apparently, all this time. He made a couple hundred million in the 80s, and his family invested wisely in real estate and I think properties in Texas, in Arizona, I think. But anyway, and now he's trying to get back into the action. I don't know why. If he made it this far and he has the money, why he wouldn't just retire and live peacefully? But I mean, I don't know. His family member, one of his nephews, was assassinated this past week, also in Culiacan, and I'm pretty sure it has something to do with what he's up to. Yeah, Mauro is definitely done. He's not really coming back from this. He's not. All his people are pretty much caught. His family is being watched like hawks by the government. And last week when they were arrested, his mom and sister, that was a warning to him. And they let them go, but they're being watched really carefully. And he has no support. He doesn't have the people he needs to make money like he once used to. He doesn't have the logistics, the trucks, everything to move all that oil and gas he steals. And so that's the result. Is he's just done. There's that's it. Uh, I don't know about that. I don't know what guy you're talking about, but I mean, there's different people rising up all the time, so you never know. Mencho is injured. Yeah. Well, I don't know if he's injured or he's just ill, like very sick at the moment. Because remember, they recently found that hospital, the hospital in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the mountainous area, and that was his. That was for his personal use, and he's known to have diabetes, so he does need a certain level of care from time to time. So he has to be careful about that, and sometimes he has to travel into the city. So I guess he felt like building a hospital would be the next best thing. Um, so yeah, I mean, and also um, the way that Mayo is intertwined and everything with this is that he's already trying to look for an exit, you know, and his kids are already in the U.S. They've already made deals. Some of them have made plea deals. Others are still waiting. No, I think they've all been sentenced actually. But the point is, he's looking for a way out, and he's looking for a way out. And at this point, if it means giving up los chapitos, los menores, so he can get some kind of deal for himself, then he'll do it. Some kind of exit strategy, he'll do it. You know, why not? He'll do it. You know. I mean, I don't know about any deal, but like I don't know about that. It's not. It hasn't been proven, but anything's possible with Mayo because Mayo in the past has given up El M1 and he's given up who was it? Macho Prieto. So I mean, yeah, it does happen. So that definitely happens, and I wouldn't put it past him. You know. Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you for the support. Is Casquillo married? Yes, I am married. I'm married to my beautiful wife. CDS killed at Cabo 33 in Baja. Yeah, they did. Um, like I said, right now it's a lot of things going on uh, where the different arrangements and the different groups that used to operate are kind of looking at the situation as this might be my time. This is my moment to take, I guess. And if I can get away with it for whatever reason, then why not? You know? There's a realignment. AMLO has really shaken things up. I don't know. I don't think people have paid attention to that aspect, but he really has. So, uh, he really has, and I think people need to pay attention to that. You know, he's been going after money laundering, and he's been going after all these different aspects of drug trafficking that are not making the news. And I'm not saying I'm necessarily a fan of his, but you know, he is doing something different, at least for the time being. But the weird thing is, though, he's not facing them. He's not facing them. Um, oh, the 20 guys that were kidnapped in Guanajuato. So one of those guys was apparently working for a rival of CJNG, and but the other guys probably didn't have any ties. So it was just a case of wrong, the other people being at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people, and so they were all kidnapped just because of one guy's involvement in that kind of life. Um, how accurate is Narcos Mexico? Narcos Mexico, I would say it's about 85%. 85% accurate. Um, 85% accurate. Sometimes they take a little, they'll take a little artistic freedom with the details, but for the most part, they're kind of accurate. They're mostly accurate. It's never going to be perfect because it's a show and they have to make it exciting for people. So, um, but yeah, man. And so, oh, OG Black Show. Cool, yeah. Hey, what's up? So yeah, yeah, los menores are taking over. Well, they're not taking over, but they're taking over Russo's territory, and that's what's actually happening. Um, so anyway, yeah, is anyone from Michoacan? And if you are from Michoacan, what are you getting from? Are you hearing from family? What are you hearing from people down there? Because in certain areas it's pretty dangerous. And I mean, I think it was in Tepacaltepec where CJNG recently lost against a united group of different people. Yeah, Chalo Arajo killed Chalino Sanchez. He killed him. Um, he had some cops pick him up, or at least some people that had badges on them, and he killed him. So yeah, man. But yeah, and if anyone is from Guerrero, also feel free to chime in. Guerrero is also going through some stuff, and it's just bad. It's bad, and the interior seems to be a lot more chaotic than the coast. But I don't know. Could I see Los Menores killing Mencho with Cartel Nueva Plaza? Uh, no, no, not really, because they're really not close in like that around where he stays at or where he roams around, so they wouldn't be able to get close to him like that. But no, but yeah, man. So yeah, a lot of things are going on, and Sonora, Guerrero, and Michoacan, and Tamaulipas. I mean Tamaulipas too. But those are the four places that are primarily getting the worst of it right now. All right, so I think I'm gonna cut it out. So yeah, man, and but I'll catch you next time, and be on the lookout for the new video. The new video is gonna be very interesting with a lot of history and tidbits that a lot of people don't know about. So be on the lookout for that.